Right, well, as we get closer to that 100-degree mark, we thought it'd be a good time to ask an expert. So we've invited Dr. Sandra Forsabrowski from Sutter Urgent Care to come and talk about the heat. Thanks so much for joining us, Doctor.
Sure.
Okay, it may not be 110 like we thought originally, but it's still going to be darn hot. What's the #1 concern medically when we see temperatures in the 105s, 106s?
Well, we worry about people getting dehydrated, their temperature going up, getting heat exhaustion, and then the ultimate heat stroke, which can lead to death.
Oh, so somebody thinks, oh, I'm used to the heat. I can go out there and do it. They want to do a little bit of yard work. Do we tell them, no, not at all, or just keep a little bit of advice in mind? You might not want to do as much as you normally would. What would you suggest?
Do it when it's not as hot out.
Okay.
Do it in the early mornings or the late evenings. Make sure that you wear cotton loose-fitting clothing so that you're not keeping the heat in. Drink lots of fluids. If you're sweating, make sure it's not just water, not just sodas, something with electrolytes in it. Wear a hat, wear sunscreen, and then take frequent breaks. Get into the shade. You know, pour some water on you so that you can have the air kind of cool you off. And then if you start feeling dizzy or nauseous or getting like your heart's racing or feeling faint, you definitely have to go in and stop.
So those are the symptoms to be on the lookout for: dizziness, nausea, and maybe lightheaded?
Lightheaded, muscle cramps, rapid heart rate.
Okay. Now, if those are things that as adults we need to be concerned about, what about our kids? Are the stakes even higher? Are they more susceptible to heat problems?
The younger kids, the older people, and anybody's heavyweight are the highest susceptible people.
Okay. And is there much that you can do to prepare for going outside? Do you drink Gatorade? Do you drink Powerade or something before you're going to work outside, or does that not really accomplish much?
No. If you stay hydrated to begin with, you're in better shape. If you slowly work into this, so your body gets accustomed to it, you're better off.
Okay, we talk about this all the time. You probably see patients all the time. How big a problem is it? Is the word out, or do people still fall to the high temperatures?
Yeah, at the Sutter Urgent Care in Sacramento, we see this all the time. We see people coming in, they're dehydrated. We have to give them IV fluids. You know, sometimes they're already vomiting, so they can't keep the fluids in themselves. Sometimes it gets to the point where we already see the muscles starting to break down and so forth. So yeah, it's a big problem, and we want them to avoid that. You know, it's
absolutely. What about the notion that, oh, well, I can jump into a pool and that'll cool me off? Does that accomplish some of the things that you're looking for?
Well, it's helpful because the rapid way to cool off is important. But if they're starting to feel dizzy or anything else like that, the pool's probably not the best place unless you've got somebody with them.
Sure.
Other ways to cool off would be, you know, like I said, cool rags so that the wind blows you off. You can put ice into the major blood areas, so the neck, the axillary areas, the groin areas. That'll cool a person off. An ice bath. But if you start feeling, you know, if you start collapsing or you start getting so that somebody's confused or something like that, you got to cool them off and then get them straight to the hospital. If they're not making any sense, if they're hallucinating, that's the time to call 911, because that's the time that a person could actually pass away.
And seconds can make a real difference, can't they? Yeah. And this isn't just a case of working outside, exerting yourself, just being outside when it's hot. You could still deal with this.
Right, or even if you don't have air conditioning and you're inside and you don't have the air flowing and you're not drinking, it can happen to you inside too.
Well, if you're working this weekend, Doctor, we hope you're not too busy with cases like this.
Well, I welcome anybody who's not feeling well. We're here, we're open, and we'd love to see anybody who needs us.
Dr. Sandra Forsabrowski with Sutter Urgent Care, thanks so much for taking the time to get the word out. We sure appreciate it.
Sure thing.
All right, Kiva?